what's up YouTube? We're back in, and today I got another leverless controller, Hitbox style controller I want to look at that I'm really happy with so far. I'm not sure how to pronounce the company. It's Haute42. I'll show the website here. You can see they have many different models that they offer, from bigger to smaller and so on, even keyboard style. So today we're going to look at the 16. Or the T16. So open that up. So obviously it comes with a USB C to USB A cable, pretty standard. There's the model there you can see. So we get this out of here. And let's take this out. So to the power of editing, I've already installed my artwork, and you can see I've got my tech and feel going on here with Label Long and all the different Mishima family and everything else. It's pretty slick. If you're a Label Long player, stand up. If you're not, I'm sorry to hear that. You're not very good at the game, but we'll move right along. So we got the controller here. It has a screen that I need to power it up and try to show you. It's pretty cool what I did there. What I did personally, it does come with these extra buttons inside the case. I went ahead and removed the first and third. I made the first black, the third red, I believe it's, or green. And what this does for me is this will end up being your PlayStation button, your PS button, and this is your start button. So when you're looking around, you're working with the controller, you'll know how to get it started. And just kind of FYI before I dive in, with any leverless that you get using the adapters, so in my case, I'm currently using the Brook's PS5 adapter, and that's going really well for me. So when I plug in, this is the adapter, I power it on, it doesn't do anything until I press this button here, and then the PlayStation activates, I hit A, and then I'm off to the races. I can move around all the screens and everything else. It's perfect. So I'm gonna slide this back. So that's really nice. So when I play on Xbox, I use currently the Brooks. I don't believe the model, I'll put the model in the description, but this was supposed to go away in December of 2023, and they're extending it out till February, but the problem is this is about to go away, and I still get a warning it's going to go away. So I found this other adapter here by Mayflash, and again, I'll put this in the description as well, and this works really good. But what's also really nice is, and I haven't tried the Brooks with this yet, when you update the firmware, which is really painless to do, there's videos on YouTube, I may make one myself showing how to do it. You essentially hold down start, plug it into your laptop, and then it'll show you the website on the screen. So when you go to that website, it kind of gives you all the different walkthroughs. And then when you go to the company website support, there's a page on GitHub you'll go to download the firmware, update it. And once you do that, I can plug, it's this little USB slot. I plug this in, and I set my Xbox Series X or Xbox One, would have both of the same, to be RB. So when I hold RB and I just plug the power cable in, the screen pops up and then it says Xbox One. And I could take this out, you can't see, I can take this out of here, and now I can move around the Xbox just using the controller as if it was an Xbox controller. So that's really nice. I don't use any macros or any weird things like that. I just play the game and have fun. So it's really nice being able to do that. And again, if you're looking for an adapter for your Xbox, don't buy the Brooks at this point. Just go with the Mayflash. It's cheaper for one, and it seems to still be compatible. So let's move right along. The buttons. So the buttons feel really good. They're bigger. They kind of slope off the edges, you can see there a little bit, but they feel really nice. They feel soft. Something about it just feels different, and I really like it. What I did was I went ahead and put the grip tape that it came with on the bottom. I bought 2 packs of grip tape, and I'll put those in the description. The one that I actually have for my feet, I'll put that as separate. This grip tape that I use stops it from sliding off your lap when you're closed, and it stays on your lap really nicely because this is obviously smooth and kind of slippery. The other grip tape I bought, I didn't really like so much, but I was able to use it for this because it has texture, but it's slippery. So now I know where my left, right, my down, and these two are the up buttons by default. So if you like to play like keyboard style, and we got away the camera, if you like to play more keyboard style, here's your up, here's your down, you can play like this. But if you play standard, your up is here, and you can still play like that. So I really like that feature of mixing up how you want to do it. This button here is open to whatever you want it to be. Same with this button here and this button. This one's textured just for, again, you're not looking, so I don't make sure I don't hit the wrong button. For Tekken, you only need 4. So I use these buttons here for that game. And then I textured these 2, so that way I know where my heat, my rage, or for Street Fighter, I know where the last button. And it kind of helps where if I slide, I could tell slippery, texture slippery. I can kind of tell where I'm at without looking at it. I mean, it's your controller, you'll get used to it, but these little things that I'm trying out to, you know, have fun with it and see what we can do. So I'm gonna put that there. When it comes to the 16 versus 13, okay, the 13, you will be more than happy. I do sometimes feel like the 16 is a little bit of overkill because when you're playing, you kind of naturally hit this button and you want to use it, you know, so you're used to playing like this and it's there, so you kind of notice it. It doesn't activate, doesn't do anything because these are separate buttons, but you know, if you got the 13, you will be happy. You still will get the up on top and bottom. There's really the only thing special with the 13 compared to the 16. The 16 just gives you these 3 extra buttons, this triangle here. I'm on the fence now where I might start, instead of playing my thumb here, I might move it here because it feels more natural. It's already there. You know, everything's a learning experience. And when you get these devices, don't expect to be good the first week. It's going to take about a month from what everyone tells me to convert from using a D-pad to using any leverless or even a joystick. So just go in open-minded, having fun, and you'll figure it out. So again, that might be the way I play, but we'll see how things play out for now. All right, so let's start comparing to other things. So I have this one. I'm gonna slide this up a little bit here. Slide this out the way. The first is, this also came from AliExpress. This is the original AliExpress controller. And currently my daughter uses this. She loves this. It is very small for me. It doesn't fit on my lap. The buttons still feel really nice, but you know, it is what it is. So we took a blue permanent marker and kind of wrote the different button keys on here. And that helps us, when you put it in certain light, you can really see them come out clear. I went ahead and put the arrows, the same grip tape that I put here. I just started putting on all my, you know, controllers. So it's still slippery, but has some texture. So I put the grips there, and I added again for the start and PS button because we were having a hard time remembering which button to push to turn the controller on to use it on the PlayStation or Xbox. So I'll put this here. You can see that. And then I do have the Fightbox B1. This box is still really good. I had my first tournament ever last month with Tekken 8 when it first came out. And I was going to use my, you know, D-pad. And for whatever reason, the D-pad would not work on that console, whoever owned that console. So I plugged this in, had no problems, and we were off to the races with our first match. I tried Kuma. That actually worked out really well. I won 3, lost 2, and I'm happy with those results considering that Lei is not in the game yet. But I'll probably convert into Leroy. I mean, it's another story. Anyway, moving on. So as you can see here, we'll put these side by side. Right, and this on the bottom. And let's kind of compare them side by side. So how wide is it? These two here, let's step around the camera. It's almost the same depth. Maybe just like 1 pane higher, maybe like a penny, a nickel, a quarter higher, you know, as the other. When it comes to size, this is almost the height of this one. I mean, it's, when you put it on top, and we'll try to lay the buttons out, you can see it's, yeah. And this is, it looks big on camera, but it's a lot smaller than you think it is. This is smaller than an, you know, iPad Air. It's smaller, whereas compared to this is like almost the size of a phone. It's pretty, or a tablet, it's pretty small. Now the Fightbox B1, this one here, can you see it? Ugh. Right about there, I guess. The B1 is beefier. They both are the same. They have layers of plexiglass in here. And when you unscrew them, you take off the top layer, you put your imagery in, and you put it back together. And it's super easy to do. This is the exact same thing, right? When you take off that top, they're different layers. You just unscrew it from the bottom, take off this top layer, and it lays really flat, which is nice. And you put this thick top layer back on top, and then you get that. So the B1, the Fightbox has more weight compared to this one, which at first is like, well, it's kind of heavy, but when you're actually using it, it's nice. It sits heavy and nice and weighted on your lap. It doesn't move around. With the same grip tape I use on this one, they have the same thing. I really like that. So they're both equal when it comes to just usage and all the different things. You're going to be happy with both. The buttons on the top here are nicer. They just feel, I don't know, they feel a little bit nicer. Whereas these, the caps have popped off a couple times. I'm not bothered by it, but they have. And the same thing, I marked these with little grip tapes so I can remember where the start button is and the PS button are. But, and all the different things. Let's check out the noise. So, how do they sound? Slide this over. So I don't know if it comes across on camera, but honestly, this one is quieter, which, I mean, I don't really care. When you're playing, no one notices. I've never had myself or the kids playing and we get frustrated by someone making too much noise, but this one is quieter. And the keys, something about it feels, even when you slam on it, it feels better. I don't know what it is. Whereas these, I really like everything about it. I just want to take these and change them, but I have not found anything that fits in this hole the proper size. The ones that I tried before, they went in there, but they would get stuck because they were just slightly too big. So besides that, I mean, this is fine. I'll probably add some texture to it, I don't know, to make it a little softer, but I'm more than happy with this controller. I'm happy with all three. They all do a very good job and get the job done. You'll be happy with any of them. When it comes to a joystick, we all know joysticks are massive, right? So let's move these out the way. Put this one over here. And the joystick will sit right about here. And slide this down. I'll have to zoom out a little bit. There we go. So now you can see this is the F500 Mayflash, and it's, you know, about that wide. The buttons themselves, they're about the same. I mean, these have a wide base with a smaller button. These are the size of the base, full button. These are SAN1 buttons. You know, everything is pretty standard. So, you know what you're getting into when you go into joysticks compared to a leverless controller. And actually, let's try one more thing. So the other is a standard controller. So you can see here, that's a PS5 controller, an Xbox X controller. You know, it's about the width of two controllers, I guess, roughly, and then almost as tall as one controller. I mean, it is what it is. And these two, you can see, are almost the same height sitting on your lap. They're basically the same thing. They're roughly the same. They are practically they're probably the same width as well. Again, this one, you can just tell, this one is definitely heavier, and it's not a bad thing. It's just something you notice compared to this one. It's not super light or cheap. It just feels perfect. This one feels like a cheaper controller. It's 3D printed, so you know what it is. And the extras we stuck on here for grip, and they do a great job. But I'm really happy with all of them. Anything you can pick up, I really think you're going to be happy with. When it comes to the 16, again, this is your up on both sides. It's really a 13 with 3 extra buttons. If it is nice to have it, but you just have to adjust to it. It's your controller, you'll get used to it, and you will be happy. I'll probably do a follow-up kind of comparing all the different things again, but that's the Haute or however you say it, 42 T16. And thanks for watching.